One of the things I attribute my sense of more consistent inner peace to is my practice of slow and gentle mornings. And this was a practice that I didn't start intentionally. Like a lot of shifts, happened during the pandemic. Prior to that, I was kind of up at 5 with my alarm, 6 a.m. To my high intensity interval training class. And then, kind of my day kicked into high gear by about 7:15, 7:30. And yeah, so the pandemic caused a real, kind of a shift and disruption to that pattern. And it also laid the groundwork for me to disrupt my pattern of 18 years of insomnia, which has probably been one of the biggest gifts and a direct correlation to the amount of peace I experience. So after the pandemic, returned to a little bit of normalcy, and my gym opened back up, I practiced for a while and I got into it, but I was noticing this big shift that, there was this real change in me, that I was back to, kind of feeling those, internal shots of cortisol first thing in the morning. And sometimes, I would wake up in the middle of the night, just with that, kind of, what time is it? Do I have to get up? Do I have to get going? And so when I moved out of the city of Toronto 2 years ago, and I was really recreating a lot of my patterns and habits, one of the intentions that I set was to have consistently slow and gentle mornings. So what that looks like for me is that I get up without an alarm. I also try not to plan meetings or anything scheduled before 10 a.m. That just creates a nice open buffer, so that, kind of when I go to bed at night, my mind isn't thinking about, what I have to get up and do the next morning. As an 18-year insomniac, I can look back and see the patterns of, kind of those ruminations and things like that I would be going through just before going to bed, and realize that was a big source of sleep disruption for me. And then it really creates an opening in space for what wants to come through during that morning period. Now, as the team I will work with can attest to, many mornings that looks like, I still wake up at 4 a.m. quite often, just on my own. I go to bed early. But then it's when things are, looking and ready to flow, that's when they do. And so sometimes I have my most productive days before 7 a.m. I'll put out a lot of stuff, but that's just when it's ready to flow. It's not because I put that pressure on it like I used to. And now I schedule my workouts later in the day. Sometimes I'll get up and, I'll, in the summer, go for a paddle board or go for a walk in the morning. If I'm up really early, I might go to a Pilates class. But what kind of brought this present for me today was I would really have enjoyed to go to a 6:15 Pilates class this morning. But when I woke up at 5:30, I was just not ready for that rush that was going to, kind of dysregulate my nervous system and put me into that gear that I wasn't ready to get into yet. So just a reflection in terms of one of those key pillars that in particular over the last 5 years since the pandemic, I've noticed has really made a big difference in terms of the level of peace I feel in my body.